Hello, this is Larry at larryricker.com, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to implement dark mode on devices running iOS 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you want to learn how to work through the defects in iOS 13 and introduce dark mode in your app, check out my last video on that subject. If you like this video, click on the like button below. You can subscribe to my channel and check out my apps in the Apple App Store. They include Project Organizer, Project Organizer Pro, Class Organizer, Class Organizer Pro, Opportunity Organizer, Opportunity Organizer Pro, Student Organizer, and Job Hunt Pro. Recently released dark mode on iOS 13. Had to work through a number of defects and got that into the marketplace. And I really like dark mode, but I don't have an iOS 13 device. I mean, family members do, and they're enjoying dark mode, but I have iOS 12 and iOS 9 devices, and I wanted to get dark mode on my devices, so this video is going to be about how to implement that. To take this app, it currently has 4 motifs for color, and they're accessed through the settings menu or the about page and then the settings page. You go down and you go to the color scheme, and there's 4 choices here. They're blue, tan, green, and magenta. And if you switch them, you go back to the application, as soon as it changes to tan, and then it can go to green or magenta. I'm going to add a fifth option on there, which is going to be dark. And then inside the code, I'm going to go through the code, and everywhere where there's a choice, a multiple choice here of motif 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'm going to add the fifth option, which will be 4. And then it'll be, I'll go back and do dark mode. Up here, it's the same line of code here for dark mode. I'm just going to put a if 4 dark mode in each of the blocks. So the first step in that is going to be to change the settings so that it has the 5th option. And down here in the filter, we go to the settings bundle. Now I'm going to update that pull down combo selection box so that it has a 5th option. So we go to the root P list, we expand out the preferences, and then the multi-value select. And under titles, we're going to add a 4th option or 5th option. It's going to be dark. And then under values, we'll add a number 4 for dark, and that'll represent dark. Now all the other programming on that's pretty much how you set up a settings menu. You just do it like that, and you have the settings bundle there. You can have multiple settings in your application, and this is the color selection. So that part's done. I'll save that. Then I'll go over to the code, and everywhere where I have self.dark, I'm just going to go through these menus. And I'll add a 4th option to each one of these. And then copy the dark option down. And there's literally dozens of places in the code where I'm going to do these changes, so I won't bore you with that. So I'll go take care of that, and then I'll go on to the next step. I'll come back, restart the camera when I get to the next step. So on the left I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max in simulator, and on the right I have the iPhone 6 Plus real device. and it looks similar. The iPhone 11 Plus is running iOS 13 in dark mode. However, on the right, I've got the iPhone. The colors are a little brighter on the iPhone 6 Plus. The whites are a little brighter because there's two different color versions for dark mode, and there's a daylight version and a night version. And the iPhone 11 running iOS 13 is in dark mode, so it's using the dark white. And on the right, the iPhone 6 Plus is using just pure white. So obviously pure white is brighter than the dark mode white. For the footer, however, the footer on the right is not modified at all. It's just using the interface builder configuration, and on the left it's also using the interface builder configuration. However, it's switched to dark mode, so the foreground is switched to the secondary color, which is the white, but not a bright white. It's a dark white. And then on the right, it's using the interface builder configuration also, but no modification whatsoever, because the iPhone 6 Plus does not support dark mode because it's only running iOS 12. So my challenge is to get the navigation bar black like the Pro Max without damaging the view of the Pro Max, obviously, because I want the Pro Max to look good too. So in dark mode, because it is the true dark mode. The way I do that is I hold down the control key and I click and I drag to the item and make it the add button. Then I do the click and drag down to the about button, make that the about button. Then I click and drag down to the, and that's going to be the email backup button. And then I'll click and drag down to the backup action, and that becomes the action button. I'm going to declare this method here. And I'm going to add the extra code here. I have to re-grab those buttons. Messed up. Okay. I'm going to switch the colors. So these are coming through white now. I was able to get it to darken out on the footer here. And the one line of code that finally worked after trying a bunch of things was self.navigation controller toolbar dot bar tint color equals UI color black. And I'm doing that only on iOS 13. So I'm going to delete all these other things that I tried to trying to get this working. And you can do the same thing on the next page. So let's go on and do the next page, which would be this page. So it's sort of showing up in the secondary color right here, but on the iOS 12 device it's just all faded to black and just impossible to see. So let's get this going. So first thing we'll update is the main. I'm going to do the same variables as I did on the last one, which is going to be add button, about button, email backup, and action button. So I'll jump to this class. Then go over to the status selection, Swift, jump to the top, drop them right in about here, and I'm going to do the question selection as well, same way. Actually, let's look at that just briefly. So we'll need an add button. We don't have an about button, we have a text email button, and then an HTML email button. And then an email backup button and the action button. So this is the question selection colors. And here we're going to do the dark selection color theme. Then I'm going to call the super. Then I'm going to put in my Swift code here. It's going to look like this. Go back over to the status selection screen. Actually, this is the question selection. Okay. This one doesn't have the about button. It's going to have the text email button, and it's going to have the HTML email button. And then I'll bounce over to the status selection. This is the one I'm going to override. So I'll call this super, which is the Objective-C code. And then I'm going to put in that code from the master. Okay, so that's going to set the add, the about, the email, and the action. And then it's going to do this background on the bar is black. Okay, so we'll go to the interface builder. We're going to slide over to here. And we're going to connect up these buttons. This is the add button. This is the about button. This is the email backup button. And this is the action button. Okay, let's do the next UI right here. Add button. Email. Text. Email button. HTML email button. Email backup button. Action button. Okay, white. That one was good. And we get white on black. Okay. So we see our footers. See if we got good throughout the application. This looks good. I'm trying to remember if there's anything in the footer there. I don't think there is. The header up here at the top, the edit button visible. This one, yes. Yes, because that's not a UI bar button. So I need an IB outlet. We can make it private. Var done button 2 UI bar button item. Bang. See if we can hook that up. Hold down the control key, drag over, drop, done button 2. Okay, so we're connected. Now let's go connect this one up. Control click, drop, done button 2. Okay, so those two are connected in the UI. Now going back to the code. This is done button 2. Give that. We'll go back to the splot. Okay, so let's see what the action button is declared as. Save that, go here, go here. Action button 2. Let's look at the code. Action button 2 is not getting this color set to white. Cancel button's not either. Done button 2 is not getting set. I wanted those to only be set for iOS 12 and below. Okay, it looks like we've got an association here. I gotta relink these pages. That's a student app. That's a student app. This means this is a student dialog here. Action button 2. Cancel button. And done button. Okay, this one's not linked. That is a done button. Done button 2. I think that's the problem. We'll run that again on the iPhone. Go through that again and see if we can get a clean run. Now we got to get that in dark mode. Okay, I think we're getting clean runs through here. That was a good test. Oh, here we go. Let's switch to dark mode. Okay, now we're in dark mode, so now we can compare side by side. Let's take it from the top. Alright, so on the left we have the iPhone Pro Max. And as you can see, in dark mode, so you can see the search bar is white in the iPhone, and it's darkened out in the Pro Max. And then the about and everything is visible, whether it's dark mode or the pretend dark mode on the iPhone 6. Go to do bar. Looks similar. Text is a little brighter, but dark mode kind of tones it down a little bit. Okay, so I got my text. It should maybe be grayed a little bit on those labels, so I'm going to have to add some gray on the labels. Okay, back to the main window. So we go into the next tab, similar. Again, the white search bar, text is visible. Title. Title is not highlighted. Need to get the title to show. Okay, we need a class with some homework. Okay. Get the buttons. Similar tanned out background. Not getting the keyboard pop up here. Done buttons visible. Okay, and the page is similar. Cancel button. So I guess pretty much the title bar and the labels. The labels on the reminder page and the title bar on the question page. Let's take a look at those things. Yes. Yes, it's the question selection panel that's missing the title. The title, actually, if you set it in one place, it sets it on all the views, doesn't it? Oh, how about that? Okay. But it wouldn't be set until I got to the last page, so let me set it on each of the pages. So on the master view, actually I'm going to go back, grab this tint bar color too. And then in the set colors, in this block, I'm going to set the tint bar color from the navigation controller to black. and then the foreground color to white. Then also do that in the status selection view. Yeah, so we're setting the toolbar at the bottom and the navigation bar at the top for each of those views. And that gives you the if I stop this and run it, set the gray color on the labels. Okay, so now we have the name of the class at the top center, lit, with those lines of code. And that is set the text attributes, set the NS attribute string, key, foreground color, UI white, and then set the navigation controller, navigation bar, title, text attributes to the text attributes set here. I'm going to go to the reminders, and let's take one of these. Okay, so we got these labels here. I want to get these labels to show up. So this is the edit reminder view. Swift. And we don't have UI label IB outlets. So we gotta add them. So if it's 13, we'll do nothing. Else, if it's not iOS 13, we'll do something. I'm going to do something different on this one. I'm going to do the UI color gray. Be more consistent with the dark mode 4. The dark mode on the iOS 13 device. Okay, this one's even harder to see. Oh, it just has the one alarm label. Okay. Let's see. Okay, now we got to link up the colors, link up the labels. This one has the alarm label right here. Hold, drag that down, Control, click, alarm label, save that. Okay, so we have the reminder description up here. We have the due date. And then we have the reminder notes. Okay, those are all linked up. And the save button is visible. Okay. Was there a save button on the new view? Yeah, there is, but that title bar is black on white, which I needed white on black. It's a bit of a twist. Okay, so that is back to this view. Okay, what do we want to do here? Self.navigation controller dot title navigation bar dot tint color equals UI color dot white, and self dot navigation controller dot navigation bar background color equals UI color dot black. Text color. It kind of matches the dark mode. Let's check out the dark mode. Yeah, I'd say it kind of matches. So this code was wrong here. Get rid of the dead code. Let's bounce over to reminder detail. And for each one of these, instead of tint color, it's text color. Color of the screen. Okay, to do. Okay, that looks readable. Beautiful. Okay, so that's good. Now we need to go back and the new view. Yeah, we still don't have the navigation controller right, so let's look at that. So we have one that works, which is this one, and that one sets navigation controller stuff. Let's go back to this one, and we'll set navigation controller stuff. Grab this tint bar color too. And then in the set colors, in this block, I'm going to set the tint bar color for the navigation controller to black. and then the foreground color to white. Then also do that in the status selection view. Yeah, so we're setting the toolbar at the bottom and the navigation bar at the top for each of those views. And that gives you the gray color on the labels on the. Okay, so now we have the name of the class at the top center, lit, with those lines of code. And it kind of matches the dark mode. Let's check out the dark mode. Yeah, I'd say it kind of matches.